Mike Norman, Todd Wildman, and Nancy Skinner. First to you, Mike Norman. You're a clear-headed, circumspect, smart guy. What do you think of what's going on here right now with Bank of America?
I agree with everything Dr. Bob said. That's what I think. No, it was a preemptive strike, actually. And I think there's also a realization in here, not that Bank of America can do this unilaterally, but this tough position that the banks take, forcing foreclosures, it generates a vicious cycle. More people are foreclosed upon, more mortgages go bad. It's not a position that leads to a positive outcome. But in this case, I do think it was a preemptive.
All right, Gary Kay, I'm seeing black helicopters, my friend. You know how Washington, D.C. works. One palm greases the other palm. Chris Dodd was a friend of Angelo. They worked together to create this bill. Maybe this is one guy inside a bank helping another guy inside the Beltway.
Look, I think there's some broken elbows and some broken arms right now. I think this was an effort, government with Bank of America. And keep in mind, they are the biggest writer of mortgages, so they can probably set the standard for everybody else to follow suit. I got to tell you, I'm sitting there thinking, I hate this whole thing, because what do you say to the people that are actually paying their mortgages and had the good timing versus these other people? But when all is said and done, you're either going to take your medicine now or your medicine later. So I think Bank of America is basically saying, I'm going to take the losses now, and hopefully this will stanch the bleeding, versus let this go on, have more foreclosures, and let the vicious cycle continue ad infinitum.
Maybe, Bank of America, Nancy Skinner, is finally doing the right thing. I mean, the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac bailout, FHA bailout is costing more than the S&L rescue. And the Bank of America lobbying papers, by the way, was pushing sour loans onto the U.S. government through the FHA. What do you make of Bank of America's move here?
Well, David and the black helicopter crowd would probably say that the bankers watched Neil Cavuto's marathon coverage of the health reform debate, and they don't want to go the way of the insurance companies. So yes, that they're getting out ahead of this. But follow the money. Okay, to use more conspiracies, follow the money. Look at this. Bank stocks are up 162% since last year as their loan defaults decrease. So they're getting this, exactly what was said, that when they stem the losses on the loans, it's worth it to write down the principal. Stock shares of banks are predicted to go up 4 times over the next 2 years. So it's enlightened self-interest. Let's put it that way.
Enlightened self-interest. Yeah, Todd Wildman, we saw some of that enlightened self-interest inside the Beltway when this bill was being created. Doesn't it carry over? Isn't it worth using a magnet? I'm not going to let this dog go. I'm like one of those dogs that grabs hold and doesn't let go. I'm not going to let it go. Chris Dodd is not running for the Senate because of the trouble he got into with Countrywide. That's why he's not running. And the fact is that one side does kind of kiss the other side.
Isn't he just tired? I'm
not running because he's not going to win.
Well, Chris Dodd's not running because of the Countrywide fiasco, and because he has the mansion on the Ireland coast where he got the pardon from Bill Clinton. So don't forget that. He's just like his dad, the Senator Dodd before him. Google Senator Dodd's father. Trust me, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree there. But I think this is not only enlightened self-interest, this is a good idea for Bank of America. This is a good idea for Wachovia. You don't want to have the house go into foreclosure and them having to sell now at the bottom of the market. This is better where they can try to keep people sending cash into them. They can modify the loan, and I think going forward,
this is going to be Dr. Bob, hang on, Dr. Bob. So, Dr. Bob, we did see the government ambulance parked out in front of Bank of America for a while there, and maybe this is a smart way to avoid that happening again.
I don't think it is. And let me tell you why. I think the history is going to be the judge of this, but let me give you a peek of what's going to happen. All those people sitting on the fence that have the ability to pay, that are still underwater in their mortgage, I think this is going to lead to an increase in what we're calling strategic foreclosures. People that have the money and have the ability, they're saying, look, I'm underwater. Why am I going to continue to pay?
I think that's going to be the trend.
That would have happened
if they can
anyway,
afford to, they're not going to take a credit hit for this.
And most importantly,
Gary, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just saying you're not letting the market do its thing. The only way housing is going to bottom is let it bottom by itself. By forcing all these things to happen,
this isn't the government. This is a private actor making a private financial decision.
private actor
that is
doesn't have
the
any
money.
strings attached.
This is
to it.
political.
And it's a government-distorted
Come
market that
on.
got a government
Thank you,
bailout.
gang.
Well, thank you, gang. Really appreciate it. Well, Peter Barnes with yet another exclusive interview. Man, he's knocking them out of the park. Believe me, you're going to want to stick around for this one.
He fills us in. That's next with a lone dissenter on the Fed. He's going to be with Peter next.